I wanted to come back to this bond. Uh, this was what forced their hand. Had I not bonded out of jail, or what they're calling bonded out, had I not paid their ransom, I would probably still be sitting in that jail, because these people were not about to admit that they had done this. But when I say that this was their biggest problem, it was because this document is a legal binding document. Okay, the bond companies are part of our judicial system. A bail bondsman has the authority, the lawful authority, to detain someone and bring someone back in. They are not police officers, but they have the legal authority. When someone doesn't show back up for court, the bail bondsman has the right to track them down and do whatever they have to do to bring them back in. They are acting as an agent of the court. That means that the bond companies themselves are agents of the court. So this is a court document. It is a legal, lawful document. As soon as this document was created, what that means is we have another agency now that is becoming a co-conspirator. See, this doesn't just sit at the local. Here, what's in that little box right there is the local office. That's where I went to that night. Listed here is the agent, the person that gives this office the authority to do it. Think of this person as the sheriff and this person as a deputy. Okay? So everything that this person does, they are doing in the name of this, and it's because this person is here that gives them, this office, the legal authority to do what they're doing. Okay? But this person answers to this insurance company. They're the ones that are in charge. The person that signed this right here is another JSO officer. That's why the name is redacted. The person that signs this right here is an attorney that represents this person who is representing this person, who gives this person the authority to fill all of this out. Okay? So what that means is here we have another document. Another JSO officer has looked at these non-existent charges and has signed off on it. Right there is his signature. Then this attorney, another attorney, add another one to the list. Don't you just love attorneys? Useless people. Has just signed away. They just stopped being an attorney because they are supposed to know that there is no such thing as this. Okay? Now, when this is filed, it doesn't stay at this office. No. It's instantly reported to this office, and then this office reports it and files it with Mama Insurance Company. because that's all a bail bonds office is. So as soon as this was made, they had to do something because now it's completely outside of their jurisdiction, the court's jurisdiction. They lost all control as soon as this took place. That's why they had to do something, because this 12/18 court date is now 10 days away. Now that I am out of their control, I can go get my very own private attorney. Okay? So they've got to act fast, because if another private attorney gets a hold of this, then what's going to happen? Well, they're all going to go to prison. They're all going to go to prison. Or at the very least, there's going to be they're going to lose their jobs at the very least. At the very least. Because, but I'm not going to get an attorney, which is why you don't want to get attorneys involved from the get-go. Okay? Because all they are is they're scum. They're scum. They don't care about the law. They just care about greasing the wheels, and everything is for credit and for political gain. So that, hey, the next time that I get a real rich guy that needs your help bailing me out, remember, I'm going to put this chip on the table. And mister, if you want me to put my chip on the table, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, you all know I'm speaking the truth. So what happened is now it's documented. Now I'm out of their control, and at the very least, these people are looking at losing their jobs and a huge embarrassment. But now, the insurance, this bonding company, and the agent, everybody that signed this is now on the hook. So they can't have me they can't have me get an attorney. That's how I was amazed at how fast I got that letter saying that all charges were dropped. It was like the next day, or if not, the 10th. So, I mean, remember, this took place, it was 10 or 11 o'clock at night when this happened, when I bonded out. 10 or 11 o'clock at night on the 8th. And then I get a letter no later than the 10th from the state attorney's office telling me that, all charges have been dropped, so you need to come down. And that's when the dum-dum impersonated. Now, I want to go back to that again as well. The state attorney, we're going to come over here to the felony. Okay. In that court date, here's what this means. This means on December 15th, okay, it's in between. I don't know what in the world it was, because there were other people there was a real judge up on the bench with the state attorneys and public defenders and whatnot, but everybody that we were all waiting outside the courtroom. And then a clerk, I say we, everybody else that had business with the court. Okay? Then the clerk comes out and tells me, and asks this. He says, is Mr. Kerry Nelson here? I'm like, wow, that's odd. So I said, yeah, right here. He says, okay, great. We can all come in now. In other words, they were waiting for me to be there. They weren't about to proceed until I was there. Why? Here's why. As I'm walking up to the door, the clerk, or the bailiff, whatever the heck you want to call him, says, wait a minute, hold on, let's let these other people go in first. I'm like, sure, okay, fine. Then he lets everybody in, and they all go down, and they're dressed in street clothes. Nobody's under arrest or anything. I don't know what it's called. I just figure that they're there just like I am to resolve something. So the guy puts me, and I start walking in, and then the bailiff says, everybody else goes in front of me, and then the bailiff says, no, wait, sit here, the very last row of the courtroom. He says, they'll call you when they're ready for you. Now, why did he put me back there? So I can't see the judge. I can't hear what's going on. I don't know the names of the people that are up there. Why? Because they're not going to be up there very long. In other words, folks, they had to know what was about to happen. So they have all these people come up in there and they're doing all their little stuff, and everybody's going up and resolving their case. Nobody goes into the back into jail. Everybody that goes up does their business and then walks back out. And these are common folk. These are ordinary, everyday folks, just like you and me. Okay, they had legitimate business to do with the court. Okay, but then after the last person, and everybody that's walking out is like looking at me like, man, why in the world they got you sitting back here in the back of the bus, bro? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just doing as I'm told. So after everybody was done, then everybody gets up and exits stage right. That means they knew what was going on, folks. You're not going to tell me that the judge isn't going to look around and say, excuse me, what are you doing that back there? Because I was the only one left in the courtroom. Again, this is like a private session almost. Okay? Nobody, there was no audience members in the court, no family members. All the family members went down to the front row. And then they did what they had to do, each case one at a time, and then they all left. And then when they leave, it's me, the real judge, the real attorneys, the real bailiff, the real JSO officers, everybody sitting up there. Then all of a sudden they just get up, including the stenographer, they just get up, just like, okay, 1, 2, 3, bing, the bell has rung, let's get up, exit stage right. And I'm like, they forgot about me. Where's the little dude that said that they would call me? And then in walks two people. This little punk state attorney, and then this fake impersonating person who's now impersonating a judge. Now, who is this person? Well, on December 18th, or December 15th, 1997, he has a very uppity up position with, wait for it, the Public Defender's Office. And this little punk, this little criminal, wants so desperately bad to become a judge. He's been trying to become a judge for years. Now, what better way to become a judge than to help not one, but two judges to prevent them from losing their jobs and going to prison. Now, that's a pretty big chip to have in your little cake, in your little pocket. Okay? So, in other words, what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that at some point in time, this co-conspirator now, who has full knowledge of everything because he is a high up in the Public Defender's Office, is now knows, hey, I'm going to become a judge. They're going to make sure that every time a position is open, I'm going to get my little name thrown up in there. Okay? And it took them quite a while. Quite a while. Because you got to wait for people to retire, this, that, and the other. It's like a little clique. They're criminals, folks. Criminals. Okay? And this little, where's he at? Oh, felony. This little punk is just become a state attorney. Okay? And you say, well, Kerry, how do you know who they were? Because I have a very good memory. And see, there's one thing about lawyers and about judges. They like putting their face everywhere. They like taking pictures and posting them on their websites and saying, ooh, look at me. I'm such a good person. I am your ruler. Bow down and kiss my ring. So I found this little punk's picture. I just Googled his little name, and as soon as the pictures comes up, I Google images of this little punk, and then I saw his little rat face. And I said, oh, yeah. And guess what? This little punk is still, well, they call it practicing law. He's still right here in Jacksonville, Florida. All the little rats ain't left a nest. Why? Because they got it made right now, man. I can do whatever I want to do. I got to get out of jail free card. Yeah, until K shows up. Now they're all running scared. So that's how I know who is what. Okay? Now, as far as how do I know that this guy was a uppity up in the public defender's office? Oh, well, it's only in his biography on the website. How about that? How about that? In fact, in his biography on the court's website, it says exactly that. It's as clear as day. He was not a judge on 12/3/1997, on 12/4/1997, or on 1/6/1998. In other words, his name should not be there. It's a lie. Okay? So, all of that had to take place because of this. Because now this is out of their control. And they have no other, they got to do something about it. Okay? So then I told you what they did. They went out and they moved all of these documents over. They rewrote the arrest and booking report. And there isn't a copy of this anywhere. Okay? And they rewrote it, this one. They rewrote this one right here. 12/3/1997. Okay? And here's what I wanted to show you as well. Right here, this says court act. Let's zoom in. We'll zoom in. This says court action. And it's still blank. Folks, there has never been any court action because there was no court action to take, because this is not arrest and booking report. It is documentation of false detainment / imprisonment, kidnapping, and the setting of a ransom. Again, I ever get this day in court, they're all going to prison. Now they're all going to prison, folks. Okay? This arrest and booking report, neither one, let me pull back out. I'm not going to be moving the camera. Neither one of these arrests and booking reports exists. They cannot produce it, which is why they're having a cow now, which is why it's not listed in my criminal history report. Okay? It does not exist. So they had to move all of this over to the felony department. And then once it was in, that's what they did here. Now here's what I want you to notice. It says out on bond, posted by this bail bonds company. Okay, I'm out on bond. What they're calling a bond, it's not a bond, it's a ransom. I'm out on ransom. And this bail bonds company, what bail bonds company? This bail bonds company has been, you're looking at it, who has been notified by letter to produce the principal in county court, courtroom number J1, 2 p.m., 1/6/1998. Well, and this is the division chief. Guess who is another co-conspirator, and this division chief, it's already documented that this person is already done very similar things in what they're doing to me right now. Documented. A person wrote a book about it, folks. Only now something's going to be done about it because they did it to me, and there was absolutely no reason to do this to me because I'm not a criminal. I've committed no crime. So they move all of this over, and then what happens is they need to, because of the charge that they have rewritten the arrest and booking report for, it is a charge, is a crime that you cannot be found guilty of and adjudicated guilty all in one day. because something very specific has to take place, and it takes about 30 days. So what they've done is they've rewritten this felony arrest and booking report. Well, what they're calling arrest and booking report. They've rewritten it to make it look like it was a real one count misdemeanor crime. And nothing happened in a real courtroom. I don't know that they're doing all this. All of this is done on paper. Remember, you control the information. You can make it say whatever you want to. Okay? So they're saying, hey, this person pled no contest at their first appearance. Because, again, this arrest and booking report does not exist. They had to get rid of it. Why? Well, here's why. They file all the paperwork, and they're waiting for. So what's the 1-6? The 1-6 would not be an arraignment date. The 1-6 would be my sentencing hearing. Is what it would be. Okay. So what they do is they make it look like all of this stuff took place, and then that's when we go up to here. Okay. Now notice here, instead of it says case number, they have the case file listed, not the arrest docket number. Here, the docket number is the arrest and booking report number. All of the felony information, everywhere the case is called case number 99-5 or docket 997995. All of a sudden now it's called 98-335MM. When that's not a case number, that's the case file number. That's the file that the case is sitting in. Everything's documented, man. Once you put it into the beast, that's it. So why is that there? Because this was probably put in again after the fact. This is what happened. They're saying, hey, we're going to get away with this. We're going to get away with this. We're going to get away with this. And God says, no, you're not going to get away with this. Because that sentencing hearing date, and you're looking at it right here, this was written December 15th, and it was sent over. What they did is they sent it over to the felony clerk office. Then the felony clerk's office sent over one of their clerks, took all of the felony dockets, all of the felony documents, and moved it and physically brought it over to the misdemeanor clerk office, which is on the first floor. Okay? And there, the little misdemeanor clerk is standing at the door and signs for it on 12/16/1997. And then that is another agent for these judges. This judge needs your help, man. Help him out. We'll make sure that you get that raise. You're doing a good thing. You're keeping the judge to keep the judge is going to owe you something. It's good to have a judge in your back pocket now. It's good to have the JSO Jacksonville Sheriff's Office in your back pocket now, folks. Okay? Isn't it? That's a damn guggum thing. You can go out and do you got more than a get out of jail free card. You got to get your whole family out of jail free card now. They going to prison, folks. So then this little guy doesn't take it and file it. He brings it up to this little punk and is sitting in his desk. And they're waiting for 1/6/1998. Now, notice the bond said I had a court date of when? I had to appear on 12/18, not 1/6. And it's never been discharged because the courts went to the insurance company and said, hey guys, we need to talk because you all are on the line now too, because you all just signed this as well. See, if anybody talks, they're all going to prison. Now this is not only are you going to go to prison, but we're going to take down a bonding office. The bonding agent that probably licensed, I have no idea how many people that they license in the state of Florida. They got these little offices all over the state of Florida, as well as now their parent insurance company. is on the hook. So they say, okay, well, hey, man, you know what? I like the way I'm living. I want to stay out of prison. I like the way I'm living. I'm going to stay out of prison. I'm just going to sit there and keep my mouth shut. And Almighty God says, you know what? Y'all all made an oath to keep your word, and you're not going to do it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this. Now, what this is going to require is going to require another judge. I have no idea whose docket this was going to be on. But they need a judge that's going to willing to overlook everything, because they got a whole bunch of stuff. Too many smoking guns. And I'm nowhere to be found. No, they are raping me. They are raping me. Who's raping me? These criminals are. The court system. They are using their positions to violate the law as well as to obstruct justice. They aren't delivering justice. They are all obstructing justice. And they've all signed it. So the good Lord says, you know what? We're going to move this off of the crooked judge's docket. There's another judge. And we're going to put it on the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper's docket. And that's when they all had a cow. And if you're ever saying, well, why in the world does all of this still exist? Why didn't he destroy it? Because the Honorable Mallory D. Cooper filed it. See, here's how it works, folks. The state attorney is assigned to a courtroom, is assigned to a judge for that day. And everything that comes before them, they represent the state. So they had their crooked judge and their crooked state attorney all set up. And then, I don't know, anything can happen. The judge could get a flat tire. The judge could get sick. Anything could happen. Or there just could be the paperwork could just, all of a sudden, boom, it doesn't matter. God's not mocked. He made sure that it got put on her docket. And then she filed it. Because then who files it? Who files it? The state attorney's office files it. The state attorney's office controls all the information. So the righteous, godly state attorney before the righteous, godly judge, what they did is they filed, wrong page. They filed this is information. This was done supposedly on 1/6, but notice there is no stamp of any kind on either, and it's in here twice. No, I don't trust any of this. But the one thing you now to be clear of is this. This is in the court record book. And there is no record of this crime taking place. And whose name is on the line? The Honorable Mallory D. Cooper. Almighty God is not mocked. More in the next video.